Hello, it's podcast time. Back with the third episode of the podcast. Today is exciting. We're starting off without Weston, but then we got Emma here again, third time.
Hello.
And I think we're just going to start getting into things with the wrestling segment, obviously starting off first. So, start kicking off the wrestling portion of the podcast is Raquel Rodriguez is off the active roster on WWE, which is a little bit of a shock. That she got taken off of the roster, don't know why, but she does have like a skin issue, so she's kind of been taking off time recently, so I could see why to maybe like take off more time for that. But yeah, so Rodriguez was diagnosed with mast cell activation syndrome in January and wrestled through a flare up of the disease at WWE Elimination Chamber in Perth in February. Rodriguez lasted 25 minutes in the Women's Elimination Chamber match, eventually getting eliminated by Bianca Belair, revealing her mast cell activation syndrome diagnosis in a promo after the match. In the promo, Rodriguez said that while she now understands the ailment and is getting treatment, she is far from completely controlling it. She has been on and off TV for much of the year. While she battled the condition. So she's probably going to be taken off due to the condition, and hopefully she comes back soon because she is a talented wrestler. Loved her stuff in NXT with Dakota Kai. Then up to her tag team with Liv Morgan even was really cool. So hopefully she comes back better than ever. And yeah. But on to the next segment of Booker T and CM Punk. As Booker T was stirring up some drama, saying that CM Punk and him may have gotten into an altercation backstage. Which then then later came out and said that he has all respect for Punk and basically kissing his ass the whole time. So that's really what he did as far as that. I don't really understand why Booker T would have said anything in the first place. But next, Matt Hardy at Monday Night Raw this past week in North Carolina. His wife was doing a bunch of TikToks at Raw, and he was there. And there's a bunch of videos that came out and stuff and photos that came out that he was there. And it's just really a bunch of wrestlers coming back to their hometown, I think. We probably might see even more of this with more wrestlers coming to their hometown to go watch WWE events, even being from different companies, which would be cool. Yeah. But then the next segment after this is Shawn Spears. So Shawn Spears, as you know, has come back to WWE and NXT, which was exciting that last few weeks ago. He's talking about Peyton Royce possibly coming back to WWE. Shocker, I know. So, he, for being 43, a potential PC job would also keep Lee close to Shawn Spears. Peyton Royce, now Cassie Lee, she and her, what? I just botched so bad.
It's okay.
All right. her and him have a child together, and so it'd be kind of cool. And offering a job to Peyton Royce, she was good with the Iconics. Generally, didn't really watch her stuff in NXT, but from what I saw, she was a pretty good, talented wrestler. So, I guarantee she'd be a really big help in the Performance Center, training different wrestlers in the ring, so they're better for upcoming matches, like against, well, if it's women's wrestlers, like maybe like a Becky Lynch or a Bayley or a Charlotte Flair whenever she returns. Possibly training them for those types of matches. And then next, we got Cody Rhodes' Rock promo. I was really excited about this one because he was going absolutely off on The Rock. And I've never seen Cody get this, like, heated before. Well, sort of. But I've never seen him get that, like, angry at The Rock. So it was kind of cool to see that. Cody's not stepping down. He's probably going to win against The Rock and Roman with Seth in that tag team match to go on to face Roman with no bloodline there whatsoever. But I hope Cody Rhodes wins the main event of WrestleMania this year to finish the story, as we all do.
Is that tag team match going to be on night one?
I think it is maybe on night one.
It would make sense to be on night one than on night two.
But it's kind of screwed up because Seth then has to fight 2 matches in one night, because then Seth has to fight Drew McIntyre. So that might throw a wrench in the plans. Well, not really, because it's already confirmed. So he might be wrestling 2 matches in one night, or Seth might wrestle with Cody the first night and then wrestle the second night, which they'll probably do.
I think that makes sense.
Because he wouldn't want to wrestle 2 matches one night at all.
That sounds dumb. Stupid.
But then we got, speaking of fans and what we want, Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, defends wrestling fans living in mom's basement. Alright, this is a story that sounds crazy. And considering, it says right here, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson recently fired back at Busted Open Radio co-host Dave LaGreca on social media for criticizing his recent return to WWE while discussing the situation on SiriusXM's show. But then later on, Dolph Ziggler comes back, jumped into the defense of LaGreca and wrestling fans as a whole. And this is what he said. There's genuine people that grow up with these stories and are, as a grown-up, pouring their hearts out. And sometimes they give it, and sometimes they take it away. Nemeth said, you know what? You have a right to be that invested in stories. That's what we're all hoping for, no matter what. So I'm glad that you're invested, that you were so disheveled, but also you have got to remember, without you, maybe they don't switch the story around. Maybe they don't switch everything around. It's kind of true. If the fans didn't rally behind a certain wrestler every time, WWE wouldn't be like, oh, we maybe should push Cody Rhodes, or oh, we should push Sami Zayn. Like those types of things. The fan feedback matters the most. And I think The Rock didn't have that, because back in his day when he was wrestling in the Attitude Era, they used to politic hard for their positions, like really hard. Like Triple H, DX could get a main event match every week on Raw in the back of the day. That's because they politicked so much. So, and Vince wasn't going to say, oh, no, you can't do that. He would let him do it. So now I think that there's less politicking around WWE, and the fans are getting feedback into it more. That's what it is. That's my input on that story. More wrestling, but I watched this short, I guess. And rest in peace to Nancy and no, I can't do this. I can't not
Who
mess
is
up.
it?
I cannot mess up. So his wife's Nancy, right?
Is it
So we're gonna look him up.
Chris Bennett?
Yeah, Chris Benoit. All right. This is bad. Son. All right. He's got two sons. Daniel. Rest in peace to Daniel and Nancy. Well, it's really traumatic what they went through in that house. But I watched Paul Heyman talk about Chris Benoit. I'll just say his name out there. About what he did. And there was this one guy that was like, yeah, my man. And then he said, Paul Heyman's like, that's your man? The guy that basically killed his wife and kid. And then kept going into it. And then he was like, he came back, obviously. And I was like, well, yeah, but his in-ring work, phenomenal. What he did that night, not phenomenal. It's really kind of sad that that ever happened. But he had CTE. Doesn't really matter. Which Paul Heyman said, it doesn't really matter. Either way, it should have never happened. And all my condolences go out to the other Benoit family members because there's another son, David, which I'm trying to sign to my company if that ever happens. But yeah, that's my opinion on the topic of the Benoit tragedy. He was a phenomenal wrestler, don't get me wrong, but he outside that day was terrible and horrific. But we're back. Throwback story with me, exclusively me. So, we're going to talk about what's a good throwback story? Do I have any memories from Pinewood?
Pinewood? I got a story.
Alright.
This was from like middle school.
Alright.
I've told this story multiple times. So just imagine it's below zero, middle of winter. It's 7th hour.
Yeah.
And it's like 1 o'clock. Right?
Yeah.
Fire alarm goes off.
Oh, yeah.
That you?
I think I remember.
Yeah, when it randomly went off and nobody knows why.
Well, it's not like the high school, like anybody was like smoking or anything, because.
No. I mean, there was like speculations, like someone pulled it or people were like screwing around with it.
Yeah.
So I'm in health right now. Hear this go off. I turned to my teacher and she's like, outside. She takes us outside and we're like sitting there for like 5 minutes in below zero cold. No coats or nothing. Well, like, what the hell? What the hell happened? And whatnot. And then there's been like speculations going on, like, someone pulled it, people were screwing around with it. It got hit because like 8th graders were down in the ice arena. Yeah, that was fun.
Another fire alarm story. In Pinewood, in 5th grade, I remember when actually there was a fire happening, because there was an actual legit fire. And So I had to go out because it was like, I'm pretty sure the day we were making hot chocolate and then the candy canes and then the books and stuff. So that day something was actually burning, so we all had to go outside, but that wasn't too long. Because we just got right back in. They probably put the fire out within like 2 minutes.
Oh.
So that.
I remember that.
That's another fire alarm throwback story.
How many have you had this year?
Fire alarms?
Yeah. Like.
Maybe 7, 8.
For me, it feels like 20.
I'm guessing it's like somewhere in the 6 to 7 or 6 to 8 range.
Because we have that 3 that one day.
Yeah.
The after school one.
Yeah.
The before school.
There was 2 before schools, right?
Yeah, there was no.
They pulled it once. Because one time I was outside the building, one time I was inside the building when it happened. So those are 2. 2 before.
2. The 3 that one day on that half day.
So like 5.
The one after school, someone pulled it.
So that's 6.
I don't know if you know about that one. Someone pulled it after school.
Might have been gone on that day. I'm not sure.
It was like 2:45. Someone pulled it.
Yeah, because usually when I take the bus, it depends what day that was, because I'm already out by then.
I'm pretty sure it was like a Wednesday. That 2, that one day, that.
Oh yeah.
That 2.
So it could be even 10. Because it's
2 that went off that one day.
Or like 9 to 10, probably.
Yeah.
Well, we got the tea segment here, and I'm excited about this. Is there any new tea going on? Because my side, I have like wrestling stuff, but school I don't get too much into, I guess. But
Not that I've heard this week, but today, Kylie skipped first hour, and I'm pretty sure she got caught.
yeah, she did.
Pretty sure she got caught.
Shit, I did the problem.
It was actually amazing since the boys had a sub today. So like half of them went into the band room and we're all watching Moana. Now, if she was in there, we would be listening to the boys like fighting over her.
Good old Moana. The Rock.
Love that movie.
Oh yeah, speaking of The Rock, didn't finish my thing. The Rock, I love this quote from Cody Rhodes. And
Weston's coming.
he said, he asked if is it going to be big Dwayne energy, or is it just going to be LDS, Little Dick Syndrome? That is a great line. I think that might have finished no, it didn't finish the promo because he spoke a little bit more. But that would have been a great way to just end a promo, cutting it on the biggest Hollywood superstar of all time. That's insane. I love this Cody Rhodes stuff. Like I said before, should win the title.
He should.
Should win the title. Then The Rock. I feel like they're building to a Rock Roman thing this upcoming WrestleMania. If not, I don't know. Everybody acts like SummerSlam's not a big pay-per-view. And it's like a WrestleMania in the summer. That's how I feel about it, because every time it's like there, it's like WrestleMania. It's like the second WrestleMania. So
Rock versus Roman at SummerSlam?
that's kind of been another thing. But they're probably not going to do that. They're probably going to be like, The Rock's going to leave because Roman didn't succeed, and he's going to probably destroy him on social media, and then it's going to get dragged out for these many months until it's actually WrestleMania season, then The Rock will probably do more stuff. Or we might see just The Rock facing other wrestlers before he gets to Roman next WrestleMania, which would be interesting because The Rock hasn't wrestled a full year since like 20, what? 12?
I'm looking it up.
2013? Somewhere in that range when he actually had the title. Probably not even then because he was like here and there.
I don't think he's. I saw him Weston walking, and I thought, oh, he's coming.
Yeah.
When was the last time?
But The Rock has not wrestled in like.
WrestleMania 32 in 2016.
Well, that was like a one-time appearance though, because he was like The Rock squashed Eric Rowan, like he gave him the rock bottom, squashed him 1, 2, 3. It was one of the shortest matches of all time.
And then WrestleMania 29, 2013. What was that?
I think he was still going at that point.
Google gave me those 2 dates.
Let's see. Let's see when he was fully wrestling, because when's the last time he fully wrestled? Because it's very unclear, because it was like 20. He was still going. See, it's very hard with The Rock because he was in wrestling for those very many years. Then he went to acting, and then he was kind of just doing acting and wrestling for that little bit, and then he went off to do acting until now, where he's doing more wrestling than acting again. So it might have been something like full time, probably 2011, I'm going to say.
All right.
Maybe, I'm not sure. Somebody can fact check that if they want to. But sports.
Isn't March Madness starting today?
Yeah. Which I got my bracket filled out for one of them. Speaking of that, I was thinking of doing another bracket because I don't feel so confident. So, basically, sports March Madness is happening. Obviously, I got Iowa winning. I want Iowa to win this because Caitlin Clark, greatest women's basketball player I've ever seen. She's making threes from basically the logo every single time. She's one of the best. So, for my fantasy women's basketball thing that I got going on here, I'm definitely taking Caitlin Clark. Because I also got Sabrina Ionescu. For any sports fans out there, I got both those two. So they're probably going to lead me to a championship there.
All right.
Also, MLB just started yesterday. We had the Dodgers and not the Chargers. The Dodgers and and San Diego Padres. Those two were going at it yesterday, which I got fantasy points from. Absolutely beating this guy right now. 25-13. He scored only 3 today. When did they play? They're in California. That's like right now it's 7 a.m. in California at the time of this recording. Wow. 15-11 is a pretty high scoring game too for that. But the Twins don't start for another many days here. They do not start till March the 28th. So, Twins, my favorite team. Hopefully they win a World Series. Not so confident they will do it, but it's a Minnesota team. They might choke, they might not. it's all up to what they are going to do. Also, I was doing tryouts yesterday, and so we all know my good friend Evan. All right, it's not going to get spicy whatsoever. I was hoping he was going to do good in the tryouts because you hope that everybody at least does somewhat good, and he did all right. All right, he had, I don't know how to say this. He wasn't that skilled when I saw him. Had a few errors, and his batting's not at full strength, and his throwing power is a little off. Well, he's got a fast throw. I wouldn't say it wasn't that fast or hard, but so my friends, so we had Brecken, Ian, and Tristan. So we all did that, and then so Ian goes first. Oh, we also got Miles, not the Miles that was possibly going to be on today, but the other Miles. So Miles got cut, so he didn't make the team. Ian sadly got cut.
Oh.
I walk in, I make the team,
Yay!
and then Evan walks in, got cut.
Not surprising.
And then Tristan walks in. He made the team.
Yay! Which one?
The
The short one or the tall one?
the blonde short one.
Oh, okay.
What's his name? Hurler. Earlier.
Okay.
So we both made the team. So I was hoping that at least one of the few there was going to make the team, which is good. So hopefully the season goes great this season.
Did Brecken make it?
Oh, yeah. Forgot about Brecken. He went first. I think he went before most of us. He did not make the team.
Oh. He seemed pretty sad about that.
But he's doing trap shooting too. So he said that he kind of knew, or not really knew, but he wanted to not make the team because of trap shooting. Because with throwing a baseball, your arm kind of gives out sometimes throwing that hard. So trap shooting would not go well with that because the gun, if you shoot it, then bam, and your arm's messed up. Does not pair well together. So, but thanks to all the people that did try out. Sorry for not making the team though. And then movies. I didn't know where to go with this segment really. Sometimes I don't even know what like. All right, I'll tell you some of the planning, how it goes. So we usually contact the guests, right? With Miles, it's kind of unsure. Some of these are unsure whether we're going to get them or not. But hoping this next quarter here, we're mostly going to get most of the people that we want onto the podcast. At times, we might even do a Tuesday podcast. Who knows? That might happen every other week that we want to do. Or like just to check in. But we can do really anything with this podcast driving forward. But we usually contact the guests. Hopefully they can do it. If they don't, then we'll just do it. As you see, we're not going to cancel it just because the guest didn't come on. Because I still have segments to do, and I still got a bunch of things to talk about. So that's really how the thing goes. So then I lay out the segments, usually in 6, and then you just go off of that. And then I look up websites, get quotes, and then I read them to you. And that's how it usually goes. Kind of fun. Very interesting. And I have people from Mexico. Well, a person from Mexico listening to this podcast, which is crazy. Somebody in Paris, France. Somebody in Russia. Surprised, considering what's going on there. I think even in Japan, where I want to live for a year, just to get away from the United States. Who else? We got a bunch of United States viewers, so hello. And we do have Belgium is our second most listened country in the whole thing. So very interesting to see that many of you guys around the world are listening to this podcast. Very fun producing it, and hopefully you guys are interested in things we talk about, but we're going to move on, segue to movies, even though that wasn't really a perfect segue. What are the new movies that are coming out? Or shows, TV shows. Let's see. Oh yeah. Venom: The Last Dance. That sounds like a movie I would go to. Because I watched the first movie, the second movie, now the third movie. Deadpool? Alright, I haven't watched both of the Deadpool movies, to be clearly honest with you. Kind of sad that I didn't, but I think I might watch them just to see this movie. Because it's Deadpool and Wolverine, which is...
Now just coming in.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, now you show up?
There's 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, well, I thought it would be less.
But the movie's Deadpool, and then we got
Garfield?
Roadhouse. Oh yeah, this movie with Conor McGregor in it. Garfield, big fan of Garfield, dude. All right, I'm not joking. This cat is my favorite animated cat of all time. Aside from Sylvester, aside from all those people, but I would watch the movie. Live actions were actually pretty funny and good. Also, we're going to keep promoting John Cena as much as we can. It's a rated R movie. If your parents don't let you watch rated R movies, not my fault. They raised you wrong. Ricky Stenicki starring John Cena. And here's the base. Last time I didn't know what the storyline was, but now I do. 20 years after creating an imaginary Ricky Stenicki, 3 childhood friends still use their non-existent pal as a handy alibi for their immature behavior when their spouses and partners get suspicious and demand to finally meet him. The guilty trio to hire a washed-up actor, Rod, to bring him to life. When Rod takes his role of a lifetime a little too far, they begin to wish they never invented Ricky in the first place. Interesting story. Imagine that. Creating an imaginary friend, and then eventually you actually have to bring him to life.
Don't we already got one?
What are we talking about here?
Who do you think? Who do you think?
John Cena. Oh my god. And then we got Wicked, featuring Ariana Grande.
The trailer was amazing.
Inside Out 2, personally not going to watch that because not really interested. Oh, we got Imaginary. I'm interested in the movie. It looks scary. Compared to anything. I might watch it, I might not. Who knows? And then we got The Fall Guy. Joker. It's a musical with Lady Gaga. That's interesting. Civil War. A24 made that. Oh yeah, I've been getting this the whole time. Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. Not really interested. I'm really not interested in this movie. Listen, what's your opinion on this movie?
Well, I've seen all of them, so I'm going to it.
Of course you have.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I just don't really like the.
Okay.
All right, George. You're always with us. Sadly, George couldn't make it today, so that was an honor of George not making it to the podcast. Now we're gonna rear off movies. Also, Transformers 1 is another movie. In case we have any Transformers, Sonic's coming out, Garfield, Gladiator, to Despicable Me 4. Yeah. Alright, this one's really racist.
Wait, which one?
Wait.
There's one named Monkey Man. That's kind of.
1 minute.
Yeah, we got Jordan Peele as well. So we got merch officially, merch, and we got the social medias. If you want to go follow us on social media, it is if you want to go follow us on Instagram, here, it is just look up WWCYT Pod, and then also same thing on Twitter. Well, the at is that. And also I'll talk about the merch in probably the next podcast and the spring break podcast. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Thank you, Belle. And if you're not down with that, I got 3 words for you. Legend, wait for it, there, and